Bruce Lee is offered $1 million to lose a fight on purpose. What he does with that offer doesn't just reject the money. It gets him banned from Hong Kong, and it proves that some men cannot be bought at any price. Hong Kong, September 1971. A private restaurant in Kowloon. Not the kind of place regular people know about. No sign on the door. No phone number to call. You don't find this place. You get invited. And when you get invited, you don't say no. The entrance is through a narrow alley behind a textile warehouse. Garbage bins line the walls. Steam rises from kitchen vents. Two men in black suits guard a steel door. They don't ask questions, they don't speak at all. They just watch, measure, decide if you belong. Bruce Lee walks past them. They don't stop him. They were expecting him. Inside transforms completely. Red silk curtains. Mahogany tables polished to mirrors. Private rooms with walls thick enough to swallow secrets. The kind of place where handshakes mean more than contracts. Where fortunes change hands over tea. Where some men eat dinner and others disappear. Bruce follows a hostess up narrow stairs. Second floor. Third floor. A hallway with only one door at the end. She bows, leaves without a word. He stands alone for a moment. Breathing. Centering. He knows what waits behind this door. Knows the kind of men who summon people to places like this. He opens it. Small room. Intimate. Round table. In the center, 4 chairs. 3 already occupied. Windows covered with heavy drapes. Cigarette smoke hangs in the air. 1 door in. No door out. Bruce takes the empty seat. The man directly across is Mr. Young. 60 years old. Silver hair. Expensive navy suit. Gold watch. Diamond ring. His face is calm. Almost kind, but his eyes are cold. Patient. The eyes of a man who has ordered terrible things and slept peacefully after. Mr. Young owns half of Hong Kong's entertainment industry. Theaters, studios, and businesses that never appear on records. 2 younger men sit beside Young, hard faces carved from violence. They haven't spoken. They don't need to. They're not here for conversation. Tea is poured. Expensive oolong. Bruce takes his cup, sips slowly. Waits. The host speaks first. That's protocol. Mr. Young smiles. Warm. Almost fatherly. Bruce, thank you for coming. I've watched your career with great interest. The Big Boss was impressive. Very impressive. You've become quite famous. Bruce nods. Thank you. I remember when you were a child actor here, running around sets, getting into trouble. He chuckles softly. Now look at you. A star. America couldn't hold you. You came back to us. That shows loyalty. Bruce says nothing. Sips tea. Waits for the real conversation. The pleasantries ended there. Young's smile fades. Not completely. Just enough to signal the shift. I have a business proposition for you. Very generous. The kind of opportunity that comes once in a lifetime. I'm listening. There's a fight being organized. Exhibition match. Very private. Only the wealthiest men in Asia will attend. Businessmen. Politicians. Royalty. Men who pay extraordinary amounts for extraordinary entertainment. Bruce's expression doesn't change. But something sharpens behind his eyes. What kind of fight? You against Chen Feng. The name lands like a blade on the table. Chen Feng. The Taiwanese kickboxing champion. 6'1" 195 pounds, a functional muscle built for destruction. Undefeated in 34 professional fights. 29 by knockout. But the record isn't what makes Chen Feng dangerous. Bruce has seen the footage. Everyone in martial arts has a fight in Taipei last year. Chen's opponent was a Muay Thai champion from Thailand. Confident, skilled, 23 years old. Promising career ahead. The fight lasted 47 seconds. Chen didn't feel him out. Didn't test defenses, just attacked. His first kick landed on the ribs. The sound was audible in the back rows, like a branch snapping. 3 ribs broken instantly. The Thai fighter dropped his guard for 1 second. 1 second was enough. Chen's follow-up kick hit the exact same spot. The broken ribs punctured the lung. The fighter collapsed, gasping, drowning in his own blood. They carried him out on a stretcher. 6 months in hospital. He never fought again. Walks with a limp now. 24 years old with the body of an old man. Chen Feng smiled after that fight. Smiled while his opponent was carried out. Smiled for the cameras, because he enjoyed it. That's who they chose for Bruce. Not for his skill alone. For his message. Cross us, and this is what happens. Refuse us, and this is what waits. The fight happens in 10 days, Young continues. Private venue, no press, no cameras. Just 200 powerful men watching. 10 days. No time to prepare properly. No time to strategize. Just decide. And the proposition? Young leans forward. Voice drops. You lose. Second round. Make it look competitive. Make it look real. Chen lands a kick. You go down. Stay down. The referee counts. Fight ends. Silence fills the room. Heavy. Bruce's jaw tightens. Why would I do that? Young reaches into his jacket, slides a paper across the table. One number written on it. $1 million. $1 million. Cash. Tax-free. Delivered however you want. He pauses. For 10 minutes of acting, you're an actor, aren't you? This is just another role. Bruce stares at the number. In 1971, this is more than most families earn in 10 generations. Enough to secure everything. He looks up at Young. And if I refuse? The temperature drops. The two men shift in their chairs. Shoulders squaring. Young's eyes change. Warmth drains out. Something reptilian remains. Bruce, this isn't America. This isn't Hollywood with lawyers protecting you. This is Hong Kong. My Hong Kong. The fight happens regardless. The question is whether you profit from it or suffer from it. Then, Young said the part that changed everything. Your wife Linda is beautiful. Brandon is 6 now. Shannon just turned 2. He pauses, lets the names hang in the air. Lovely family. It would be tragic if something disrupted such happiness. Bruce goes still. Completely still. Not frozen with fear. Something else entirely. Something far more dangerous. The stillness before violence. You're threatening my family. I'm explaining how the world works. Decisions have consequences. 5 seconds pass. Nobody moves. Tea grows cold. Cigarette smoke curls towards ceiling. The silence presses against walls like a living thing. One of the men puts his hand inside his jacket. Fingers wrapping around metal. Ready. And then Bruce did something that shocked everyone in that room. He reaches out, picks up the paper, looks at the number one more time. $1 million. Life-changing money. Family-securing money. Then he tears it in half. The sound cuts through silence like a blade. Again. Again. Until the $1 million offer is nothing but confetti on the mahogany table. The two men explode from their chairs, hands diving into jackets. Metal clearing leather. Guns out. Safeties clicking off. Barrels pointed at Bruce's chest. Young raises one finger. Just one. They freeze. Guns drawn. Ready to fire. Waiting. Bruce stands slowly. Doesn't look at the guns. Looks only at Young. You assumed money drives me. That fear controls me. You're wrong. Young's face is stone. Noble speech, but nobility doesn't protect families. If I take your money, I'm not Bruce Lee anymore. I'm a puppet. A fraud. You're also alive. That has value. Bruce shakes his head once. Not for $1 million. Not for 10 million. Young stands. They face each other across the torn paper. Two guns still trained on Bruce's heart. I've destroyed men far more powerful than you. Men with armies. Bruce's voice stays level. Absolutely calm. Maybe you'll destroy me too. But some things matter more than survival. He turns toward the door. One of the gunmen steps into his path, blocking. Gun raised to Bruce's face now. Barrel 3 inches from his forehead. Eyes asking Young for permission to fire. Bruce stops, looks at the gun, then past it. At the man's eyes. Move. Not loud. Not aggressive. Just absolutely certain. The gunman doesn't move. Looks at Young. 3 seconds pass. The longest 3 seconds in the room. Bruce doesn't blink, doesn't flinch. Just waits with the certainty of a man who has already decided how this ends. Young studies him, looking for fear, looking for weakness, finding nothing. Finally, Young nods. Once. The gunman steps aside, slowly, keeping the gun visible, making sure Bruce sees what was almost used. Bruce walks past. Hand on the doorknob. One more thing. Doesn't turn around. My family is off limits. Completely. If that line is ever crossed, we stop having conversations. Pause. I always deliver consequences. Opens the door. Steps through. Closes it behind him. Down the stairs. Through the restaurant. Into the alley. Into the night air. His hands don't shake until he reaches the street. Then they shake for 30 seconds. Not fear. Adrenaline releasing. The body processing what the mind already handled. Within 48 hours, everything in Bruce Lee's life changed. He was at Golden Harvest Studios. Script meeting for the next film. Papers spread across the table. Excitement in the room. Then Raymond Chow's phone rang. The room went quiet. Everyone watching Raymond's face. The conversation lasted 90 seconds. Raymond said almost nothing, just listened. His face went white, then gray, like watching something die. He hung up slowly. Couldn't meet Bruce's eyes. The film is canceled. Voice hollow. Scheduling conflicts. Everyone knew what that meant. Nobody said it. Bruce stood, nodded once. Walked out. The streets looked different now. Every theater he passed. Every poster on every wall. All controlled by the same invisible hand. By the next morning, the big boss had disappeared from every screen in Hong Kong. Prints pulled from projectors. Posters torn from walls. His name erased, like the film never existed. The day after, a government clerk stamped his papers with red ink. Work permit revoked. Documentation irregularities. He had 7 days to leave Hong Kong. He walked home slowly that afternoon, thinking about what to tell Linda, how to explain that his principles just cost them everything. She was feeding Shannon when he came through the door. Brandon was playing on the floor, toy cars, making engine sounds. Happy, innocent, not knowing his father just burned their future. Linda looked up, saw his face, knew immediately. She finished feeding the baby, put Shannon down gently, kissed Brandon's head, then walked to Bruce and took his hands. Tell me everything. He told her, the meeting, the offer, the threat, the torn paper, the guns, the ban, everything. Silence filled their small apartment. Then, Linda squeezed his hands. So what do we do now? Bruce looked at her. This woman who left everything to be with him, who faced her family's disapproval, who believed in him when nobody else did. We leave. Build somewhere else. Hong Kong isn't the only place in the world. Where? Everywhere. We make something so big their little kingdom becomes irrelevant. Something they can't stop. Linda looked at him, then smiled. Then let's start. Here's what Young didn't understand about Bruce Lee. Pressure doesn't break him. Pressure forges him. Every obstacle becomes fuel. Within months, Bruce secured international financing, a global co-production, studios in multiple countries, distribution across continents, complete creative control, no Hong Kong money, nothing Young could touch. The film would change cinema forever. It would play in every theater on Earth. It would turn martial arts into a global phenomenon. It would make Bruce Lee immortal. Young's ban became meaningless. Bruce's films played everywhere that mattered. Hong Kong audiences found ways to watch. Underground screenings. Imported copies. They worshipped him more because he was forbidden. Chanted his name louder because someone tried to silence it. Young couldn't stop it. Couldn't control it. His power ended at Hong Kong's borders. Bruce's legend had no borders. The Chen Feng fight never happened. Without Bruce, there was no event worth attending. Chen Feng faded into obscurity. Just another fighter with a good record. A footnote. Nobody remembers him now. Years later, long after Bruce was gone, a journalist tracked down Mr. Young, old now, retired. His empire had crumbled. New powers had risen. He lived in a small apartment, forgotten by the city he once controlled. The journalist asked about the rumors, the meeting, the $1 million offer, the man who said no. Young was quiet for a long moment, staring at the wall. Bruce Lee was the only man who ever said no to me, and made me respect him for it. I hated him for years. Tried everything to destroy him, failed completely. He paused, looked at his hands. Old hands now. I offered him $1 million to be small. He chose to be legendary instead. That's the difference between men who are remembered and men who disappear. The journalist asked one final question. Any regrets? Young didn't answer, just gestured at the wall behind him. A single poster hung there, faded, worn at the edges, but unmistakable. Bruce Lee, eyes blazing with certainty. Some things cannot be bought. Some people cannot be broken. Bruce Lee proved that with 5 words in torn paper. The 5 words? I am not for sale. Those words cost him everything in the short term. His career, his home, his safety. Those words gave him everything in the long term. His legacy, his legend, his immortality. That's the price of integrity. It costs everything you have right now, and it's worth more than everything they can ever offer. What would you do if someone offered you $1 million to betray who you are? Would you take the money and live comfortably? Or would you tear it up and become eternal? Bruce Lee made his choice in 10 seconds. That choice echoes 50 years later. What will your choice echo?